Hi everybody. I wanted to make a video for people who are considering doing a Jeep lift kit, especially if you're relatively new to Jeeping and you've been doing it about a year or less. You have your stock Jeep, you're getting ready to do some kind of a lift, and you're not quite sure what it is you want to do. Alright, well if that's you, this video is going to be very, very helpful. Especially if you are a daily driver, where you are, this is primarily a commuting vehicle, but you want to get it on the off-road on the weekends, or once or more a month kind of thing. That's how I'm building my Jeep, and again, it is a bit more on the conservative side, but it's a really, really cool option for people who just have no clue. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the pros and cons about going higher with the lift versus staying lower with the lift. I've been doing this, about a year or less. I've done a lot of research. Again, opinions are going to vary. There's lots and lots of different options out there, lots of different opinions out there. So I don't mean to negate anybody, of course, or any different strategies. This is just one that works for me. So if you're trying to decide what kind of lift to do, you want to stay on the conservative side because you don't have a separate Jeep for off-roading. This might be a good video for you. We're going to be talking about leveling kits, body lifts, and then suspension lifts. So a leveling kit, first off, a leveling kit is what you can do first, if you want to get your Jeep level. So when your Jeep comes stock from the factory, it's going to have this factory rig stance. It's going to be kind of nose low. Putting a leveling kit on there, it just puts a couple spacers around the springs, which lifts up the Jeep nose a little bit. So it's kind of looking at you as opposed to looking down, and I think that looks a lot better. It corrects that that nose low factory rake stance. If you have any aftermarket bumpers or you're going to be putting any on, this is going to correct them ahead of time, and it just looks better. Okay. Next thing you might want to do is consider adding a body lift. Okay, and I think you can do either one of those. I know you can do either one of those in any order. It doesn't matter. Now with body lifts, if you get into the more of the Jeep communities, you're gonna see a lot of people bad-mouthing body lifts. That's fine. Body lifts are not a bad thing as long as you keep it to a minimum. When you go higher with any kind of lift, you start running into geometry issues, which we're going to talk about. But I did want to say that doing a simple 1.25 inch body lift, where the body mounts to the frame, it's going to give you that 1.25 inch lift. You're going to get more space between the wheel well and the wheels. It's going to create some more space there, and then what's going to happen is you're going to be able to put on 33-inch tires or 35-inch tires with ease. Now you're still going to have your stock suspension, but if you wanted to just have a little bit of extra height and just for show, I mean, a little bit of a body lift's all you need, Personally, I would never go higher than 1.25 inches, all right, because you can run into issues that way. So at this point, you got your leveling kit, so your nose is higher, which is better for the reasons we mentioned. You got 1.25 inch clearance between the Jeep and the wheels. Now you could put on the 33s or 35s. Now here's the really cool part, and this is like probably the gold nugget, the big gold nugget of this video, and that is, if and when you want to do a suspension lift upgrade, if you do a 2.5 inch, say, coil spring lift to this Jeep after this body lift is on, you're going to have a good 3 inches plus, let's say 3.25 to 3.5 inches, depending on your tire size you use, of lift on there, right? And you're not going to be running into any geometry issues, or you really shouldn't be. Because what happens is, when you start going over 2.5 inches on a JK, we're talking about Jeep JK Wrangler, mine's an Unlimited, it's a 4-door. When you start going to higher than 2.5 inches to 3 inches or more, then you start running into geometry issues, all right? And I'll tell you about those for a moment here. So basically, when you start lifting a Jeep over 3 inches and higher, what happens is the arms, the suspension of the Jeep it starts pulling the, when you go higher up, the wheels start going closer and closer together because you're lifting this thing up higher and you're losing your factory wheelbase. All right. Now, what say a long arm suspension kit's going to do is it's going to restore that factory wheelbase. You got long arms on there that are putting those wheels back in the correct position. They're not too close together anymore. So that spreads them out, gets your factory wheelbase back in alignment, and it's also going to center your axle when you get on those long arm kits. And you're going to be correcting your caster pinion angle. Your drive lines are going to be fine. I don't think you'll need to replace those. It just corrects a lot of the issues. The exhaust line getting in the way can get in the way if you start going that high. You know, when you do like a long arm suspension kit for 3 inches plus, all that stuff gets corrected. So that's and you're going to get what you pay for. You know, you can get a 3.5 inch long arm suspension kit for, I don't know, $500 to $1,000, and then or even a non-long arm kit. But then you can get a high-end kit, which is going to have all the pieces you want to have for $3,000 plus. So you do get what you pay for. So that said, when you basically go 3 inches and higher, you got all that geometry that starts happening under the Jeep that needs to be corrected. All right. Now, I don't want to pay that much money for a lift. This is my commuter Jeep, and I don't have that big of an ego, so I don't need to go that high. But 2.5, you know, I want enough so that I can have a comfortable, soft ride on the highway, and I can hit trails on the weekend and do what I want to do. You know, I don't think I'm going to be taking trips to Moab in this Jeep. You know, I'll probably save that for another Jeep that I'm down the road where I outfit it completely for off-road, and it's only for off-road kind of thing. But this Jeep has to be a commuter, so I need to be a little bit more concerned about gas mileage, even though I know I bought a Jeep, and I want to get the most bang for my buck. So a 2.5 inch kit, most people are going to agree, is pretty safe, meaning there's not a whole lot of issues, if any, that happen underneath the Jeep geometry-wise. So if you want to do 2.5 inch on a coil spring lift, you probably don't need to do a long arm kit to where this stuff is going on here. All right, you can, you know, and it's debatable. Some people say 2.5, 3 inches. I'm pretty sure most people are going to say don't ever go higher than 3 inches without having a long arm kit. I just wouldn't think that'd be wise. But you can do a 2.5 inch coil spring lift. You know, pretty simple. You shouldn't be having any geometry issues under there. You can get a good quality suspension lift for 2.5 inches. And here's the really beauty part of it. Like I said, with 2.5 inches plus 1.25 inches, you got at least 3.25 inches, 3.5 inches. Now, to other people who are just buying an expensive long arm kit, they gotta you know, essentially pay more to correct all that geometry from going higher up, 3 inches plus. But you don't have to do that. You can just do a simple coil spring lift for, you know, we're talking a budget boost or a coil spring lift with short arm kit with 2.5 inches plus this. You're getting the height that you want without having to correct a lot of geometry. That's basically what it comes down to. So you get 3.5 inches. You're getting the height that you want. You're not having to correct geometry. You can still get a quality lift kit. You can still look good because you're 3 inches plus. You can still have 33s, 35s, and look good. And you still can hit pretty much any of the trails that you want. You know, when you start getting into long arm suspension kits, and pushing much bigger tires, there's not a whole lot more trails you can do. You can, with this kind of setup, you can pretty much do 80% of the trails that you're going to want to do, you know, and the other 20%, when you start getting into the bigger lift kits like the 4, 5, 6 inches and the 37, 38, 40 inch tires, I mean, yeah, you can do 100% of the trails that you might want to run, but you gotta go to those trails for one, and two, you're paying an arm and a leg for that extra 20%. So again, this is the conservative video. This is the video for people who are wanting to have a lift that looks good, that doesn't cause any issues. They have the height that they want. They're not paying for more than what they need, and you've got again, you have a Jeep that looks good, and you got the lift that you want. So that's basically it. You know, the 2.5 inch plus the body lift and a leveling kit, and then 33s or 35s is all you need if you want to be a daily driver. And that's pretty much it. So it's based on my own research, and you know, we all want our Jeep to be as awesome as it can look. You know, and we're having those high hopes, and we're wanting to find out what kind of trails we want to do. The last thing you want to do is spend a ton of money in your Jeep and then not use it the way that you've spent on it was intended. You know, you don't need 40-inch tires and a long arm suspension kit, and then you go off-roading once every 3 to 6 months or something. But at any rate, again, this is what I would recommend. I hope you like it. Again, this is for the conservative Jeep owner, and to get a ton of performance and good looks, and at the same time not sacrificing anything. So I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.